Coming up on the next Making Moves.
Alan Mosley left a high-profile job with the Pate administration to run the DOT's Northeast Florida office. I'm Bill Milnes. Coming up, Mosley tells me why and what he thinks of the job so far.
Why is Flagler County one of the fastest growing counties in the nation? I'm Terry Casey, and I'll have that story coming up.
Local agencies celebrate National Transportation Week and how JTA can help you with your summertime beach excursion. I'm Joyce Morgan Danford. Stay tuned for those stories and much more next on Making Moves. Welcome to JTA Making Moves. I'm Joyce Morgan Danford. Michael Blaylock is here and he'll be joining me in just a moment. But first, the JTA headlines. Hurricane season began June 1st, and when you live here in Florida, hurricane reminders cannot come often enough. The 2010 season is predicted to be one of the busiest in recent memory. So while you're putting together your hurricane kit, JTA is busy planning and preparing for any eventual evacuations that could be ordered. Here's more on what you need to know before the storms arrive. While no one likes to think about it, the threat of a hurricane is part of our lives from June to November. So preparation is the key to riding out a disaster. In fact, JTA officials say deciding your transportation needs is a priority. JTA will go into emergency mode when the evacuation order is issued. Once their families are safe, drivers will report to work to begin picking up passengers at any JTA bus stop. Some passengers don't know about the service, others do.
Well, I done read the signs on the bus, the little monitors. I know they'll take me where I need to be.
Karen Key is referring to the monitors on several buses with continuous evacuation information for the public. Most passengers are glad to know a transportation plan is already in place.
This is something they should have had quite a while back, but I'm glad they have it now.
Well, you got some people that may not have cell phones or house phones, or may not be able to call a relative or a friend, and they may have no other resource but to get on the JTA.
Once you leave your neighborhood bus stop, then JTA will take you down to their 4 designated hubs. This one is at the Rosa Parks station. From there, a bus will take you to your designated shelter.
They have to bring items that can fit on their lap while the bus is in motion.
There are some things to keep in mind if you need public transportation. If you have special needs, you must register with the city. Keep in mind that Connection only picks up passengers from the city's list. The number to call is 630-CITY. Now, the furry members of your family must be registered so you can be assigned to a shelter that accepts animals. Large animals cannot come on the bus. Smaller ones need to be in their carriers. And just like the pickup, once the all clear is given, JTA buses will take residents back to their original stop. JTA Executive Director and CEO Michael Blaylock joins me now. You know, JTA has a tremendous responsibility when it comes to evacuations and hurricane season. So tell us what the JTA is planning.
Well, you know, absolutely. We do play a very critical role in terms of the evacuations activities. But the other point, Joyce, is the fact that this effort, preparation for hurricane season, is a year-long experience. This is something that officials plan year-round. So it's not that we're getting together to June 1st to assemble all these activities. The good news, we've been planning all year long in preparation for this particular season. So we do play a critical role in the initial evacuation, then of course the return and cleanup of various activities.
That's right. So we're always ready, basically.
Yes, we have to be. Okay.
Now an update on a story we first told you about back in November. The story on Find Island, or what some local firefighters call Hill 343. Find Island is a large mound of dirt, sand, and grass that sits in the middle of the Intracoastal Waterway just south of the Atlantic Boulevard Bridge. The hill itself was created with the approval of both the Army Corps of Engineers and the St. John's Water Management District as a means to mitigate for marsh areas that were disturbed during 2 construction projects. Well, that original plan of building a temporary access road to the site to remove the material was denied by the Corps. Instead, both agencies approved a solution to build a mound instead. Find Island garnered local attention late last year when some local firefighters adorned the mound with an American flag. The flag was in honor of the 343 firefighters who lost their lives during the 9/11 terrorist attacks, thus the nickname Hill 343.
That just by putting a flag on a pile of sand, it now turned into an island, and that island has significance, and that island now to me has a name. They call it Find Island, which, okay, we call it Hill 343 because that's what it means to us.
The flag was due to be replaced with a larger flag flown over Ground Zero in New York City until vandals ransacked the island and tore down the flagpole. Back now with Mr. Blaylock. Mr. Blaylock, where do we go from here?
Well, we've asked for, or we'll be submitting an application for reconsideration of a temporary access road to remove the dirt. Our position all along was to remove that dirt initially, but because we weren't successful in getting the initial approval to do so, you have the hill. And unfortunately, because of the long winter months that we've had, the greenery that we had on the hill just basically died out. So it's not very attractive. So we have been trying to find a win-win solution for the Neptune Beach community. So we're forging ahead with the notion of trying to get the entire hill removed.
There's certainly a lot of different perspectives on this hill, and the firefighters' perspective was to put the American flag there. What happens to the flag now?
Well, unfortunately, what we're going to be pushing to have the flag relocated in a different area, a different location, to continue the honor of the 343 men who lost their lives in 9/11. So we're going to try to work with the community to try to find a good place that we can continue that honor.
And we're going to try to make this a win-win situation for everyone that's involved.
That's correct.
And in other news, we head to St. Augustine, the nation's oldest city and home to Flagler College. The school was named after Henry Flagler, the man who developed much of Florida's East Coast and brought the railroad to the Sunshine State. Now St. Augustine is looking to add to that rail legacy. Officials there are in the beginning stages on plans for a new downtown train station to accommodate a new passenger rail proposed for Henry Flagler's old FEC rail line.
Amtrak wants to put a new passenger rail service on the Florida East Coast Railroad, the same railroad built by Henry Flagler over a century ago.
Amtrak is very, very enthusiastic about the project. I would really like to see it happen.
Officials here in St. Augustine are so confident that passenger rail service is coming here, they're moving ahead with plans to build a new train station in downtown. But this move ahead is actually a move into Florida's historic past.
The FEC corridor, of course, connects all the historic downtowns in Florida. It's how those downtowns came about. Essentially, most of them are just waiting for service to get back on that corridor again.
And with the city planning a huge celebration to commemorate its founding 450 years ago, Mayor Joe Bowles says the timing for this rail project is perfect.
We think that South Florida and all up and down the East Coast will all want to come visit St. Augustine, and what a better way to do it than the rail service that Henry Flagler brought here to open up Florida as a tourist destination.
But once the party's over, Amtrak official Michael Lediff says cities like St. Augustine will still have plenty to celebrate for years to come, namely economic development around the train stations themselves.
Now we have what we call transit-oriented development. So once you have a train stopping somewhere, whether it's a commuter train, an Amtrak train, or corridor services that we would like to see happen here sometime, the development starts to occur around those train stations and where the train stops.
In St. Augustine, Mike Miller for JTA Making Moves.
Amtrak says they're hoping to have the rail service up and running in the next 2 to 3 years. But Michael, St. Augustine is really not the only city that's involved in it. What is it, like 8 cities?
Yeah.
So who's the target audience?
Well, not only just the Floridians, but people who travel from around the country coming into Florida. This is really exciting news, George, for Florida. with the return of service from Miami to Jacksonville, Jacksonville to Miami. So, you know, what I keep telling folks that rail will not be successful in Florida if it doesn't begin in Jacksonville. So I think that it's going to give people options. People are always looking for alternative ways to travel. If you think about it, the airlines, I mean, the pricing scheme for airlines is horrific. I mean, you could sit on an airplane and one person may have paid $200 for that flight and you may have paid $500 for that flight. So the good news about rail is you have a stabilization of the rates. So I think that's going to be very, very attractive to a lot of people.
A lot of people and a lot of tourists, and that can only help the state of Florida and Jacksonville.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Up next on Making Moves, we'll talk with the newest member of the JTA Board of Directors, FDOT District 2 Secretary Alan Mosley. And Terry Casey reports from Flagler County, where they're working to overcome the state's highest unemployment rate. Stay with us.
Making Moves is proud to welcome its newest sponsor, Gannett Fleming. Gannett Fleming, connecting people and places with innovative transportation engineering solutions for more than 95 years.
If you want to go here and you want to avoid all of this, then you need to hop on one of these. The Beaches Trolley, running every weekend through Labor Day. It's fun, convenient, and just $1 a ride.
You don't have to drive everywhere. You know, you can just park one place, catch a ride home at night.
The Beaches Trolley, serving Jacksonville, Neptune, and Atlantic beaches.
It's a guarantee. You know that trolley is going to be there to pick you up.
So go ahead, park your car, and make the trolley your beach time ride all summer long.
I was looking to jumpstart my career, and Florida Coast Career Tech has the reputation of being the best.
If a student comes to Florida Coast Career Tech, they will end up with a career they love.
I've learned more about HVAC in 3 weeks than I have in my entire construction career.
I'm learning a lot here because the instructors are great.
Florida Coast Career Tech students are trained so well, they can hit the ground running.
Florida Coast Career Tech helped me do this.
There's almost nothing better than a baseball game on a hot summer night.
Unless, of course, it's free. Now you can see your very own Jacksonville Suns for free on Wednesdays and Sundays when you show your JTA Summer Youth Pass.
But that's not all. When you buy a JTA Summer Youth Pass for June for just $30, you get July absolutely free. Plus, we'll give you an August pass for half price.
That's right. 3 full months of unlimited travel on any JTA bus or trolley with your JTA Summer Youth Pass for just $45. And free admission to any Wednesday or Sunday Jacksonville Suns game with a valid pass.
So hit a home run with the Jacksonville Suns and the JTA. We're bringing you fun all summer long.
Anyone 18 years or younger is eligible for a JTA Summer Youth Pass. Get your pass today at the JTA administrative offices, the Rosa Park Transit Station, or online at jtafla.com.
JTA, part of your day, part of your community, part of your life.
He was one of the highest-ranking members of the Payton administration. Now Alan Mosley is responsible for the transportation needs of 18 counties in North Florida. And as the new District 2 Secretary for the Florida Department of Transportation, he also has a seat on the JTA Board of Directors. Making Moves' Bill Milnes sat down with Mosley at the DOT's Jacksonville office to find out how he's handling all of these new challenges.
Alan Mosley has been running FDOT's District 2 office for about 3 months now. Mosley left his high-profile position as the Chief Administrative Officer for Mayor John Payton to take over the District 2 job. It's a position that Mosley admits may not be as glamorous as his old one, but is certainly as important.
And transportation issues are at the core of life in America.
In addition to his new duties with the DOT, Mosley also inherits a seat here on the JTA Board of Directors. He says his previous experience as CAO of the city give him a unique perspective on the many challenges facing the authority, both now and in the future.
And understanding how inextricably linked the future of Jacksonville and the Jacksonville Transportation Authority are, and that the financial models supporting the Transportation Authority are significantly impacted by the local government and intertwined with the local government.
Mosley says, like with most government agencies around the country, finding new revenue sources is the greatest challenge facing JTA.
I mean, these are stark times with regards to the revenue streams that support both DOT, JTA, and the city of Jacksonville itself.
Despite his past accomplishments in both the public and private sector, Mosley says he's humbled to be working with such a talent-laden group that make up the JTA board.
The intelligence level there is just off the charts, and the ability to communicate, the ability to kind of quickly receive complex transportation type issues, process them, and come up with responses to them.
In Jacksonville, Bill Milnes, JTA, Making Moves.
Of course, Mr. Mosley has some very big shoes to fill when you think about Charles Baldwin and how long that he had been with transportation. So you've worked with him several years. What's your take on what he really brings to the board?
Well, Alan brings a lot of experience, not only just in local government, but his experience as an engineer. And another thing I think is really exciting for our area is he's bringing some fresh eyes to the DOT. I mean, typically a lot of the DOT secretaries have come from within. So Alan is going to bring some fresh eyes, what I call fresh eyes, a different kind of perspective to the table. And I think it'd be good for the district and it'd be good for the JTA.
Absolutely. Well, it's nail-biting time in Flagler County as officials wait nervously on results from the 2010 census. Flagler was the fastest growing county in the U.S. the first half of this decade and ranked among the top 5 through 2009. They're counting on the census, though, to take them across the population threshold that would open the way to more federal dollars. As they wait, our Terry Casey takes a look at what touched off their incredible growth and what's happening now.
The Flagler County growth explosion was ignited by a strategically planned Palm Coast.
It's only 10 years old as a town. It was carved out of the woods.
Patty Immel relocated her high-tech company from San Diego to Flagler just a few years ago when she saw what the county had to offer. Having the fastest growth rate in the nation didn't hurt.
And that's one of the reasons we moved here.
ITT came in and master planned Palm Coast.
County Commissioner Melissa Holland has lived here 25 years.
So we've been put in a very desirable place and location that's been planned in a very beautiful way.
Flagler County's history and its early growth are linked to transportation, specifically the railroad. The county was named after Henry Flagler, who brought the railroad down Florida's east coast. From then on, and with a few tweaks, including development of Palm Coast, the county's largest city, growth picked up steam.
Construction was their biggest industry. When that took a hit, growth leveled off, but didn't stop.
Actually, we're only 1/3 built out in our entire county. We have 18,000 buildable lots in the city of Palm Coast alone.
And the price is right. You're not looking at Miami or New York City or San Diego or DC.
Their biggest challenge right now is unemployment.
We have the #1 unemployment rate in the state of Florida.
Triggering the need to diversify their economy, be competitive globally, and attract business and industry.
They're very assertive and aggressive in a positive way in planning for bringing business in that will support that growth.
Transportation issues include commuter rail options and accompanying money concerns.
We understand that these are critical issues that face everyone.
Patty was part of a citizens' transportation study panel.
A rail system that had a couple of stops in Flagler County certainly would not only help the tourism, but it would help the citizens here.
So as we continue to master plan our community, we're taking into account that transportation has to be a key component in partnering our land use in conjunction with our transportation needs.
As for the county's overall future,
I think the possibilities are endless. I'm very excited about the future. We're at a very opportune time in Flagler County. We're certainly, I think, at a crossroads.
For Making Moves in Flagler County, I'm Terry Casey.
And coming up in the 7th and final installment of Terry Casey Reports, Terry comes home to Duval County. Look for that in our July show. Well, summertime is beach time. When we come back, we'll show you how JTA can not only take you to the beach, but help you get around once you get there. And we'll unveil the winners of the National Transportation Week poster contest. Then, some final thoughts from Michael Blaylock.
I want a good career, and I know that Florida Coast Career Tech is going to help me find it.
I'm confident that I will find a great job after completing the program.
I've spoken with a lot of employers. Many of them will contact me prior to advertising for a position.
I hire Florida Coast Career Tech graduates because they're prepared with the skills that we need from day one.
I was so amazed how ready I was once I got hired. The training was identical to what I do every day. You can't get that training anywhere else.
You're watching Making Moves, honored by the Florida Public Transportation Association with its 2008 and 2009 Award of Merit.
Some local fifth graders have the winning transportation posters. During National Transportation Week last month, transportation officials unveiled the 4 posters that best captured this year's theme, transportation moving the region. 2 of the 4 talented young artists were on hand for the unveiling of their winning posters. Caitlin Weaver and DeCarrion Cook were excited about becoming instant celebrities. The students were showered with accolades and prizes, including a $50 gift card. They also got to meet with transportation officials, including our own Mr. Blaylock. Both students are from Kings Trail Elementary School. They explained to us how they came up with their award-winning designs.
I was thinking about downtown area because they said something in Jacksonville, so I was thinking of like the Costa Bridge, and I put over the Skyway.
Like trains, limos, and blimps. Some blimps they put like this light thing where they show different advertisements, or they have a flag going in the back telling different advertisements.
Now, the other 2 students unable to attend are Adelisa Nakafal and Jasmine Gibson. They also received the $50 gift cards and received $25 in gift cards for their schools. Now, along with the JTA, North Florida TPO, Jacksonville Aviation Authority, JAXPort, Women in Transportation, and the Conference of Minority Transportation Officials also sponsored this contest. And as you saw, Michael was there. The kids got a chance to meet you. They enjoyed just spending some time with you. And I was really impressed with the students and their work.
Well, Joyce, you know, it's so important to expose children to these types of activities and venues. So, you know, I had a great time with the kids, and one of the kids wants to go in the rail service, and I just had a great time with them. But I just encourage parents to sign their kids up for these type of venues and give them that kind of exposure. It just could be huge for them.
That's right, and just let them try.
Yes.
You know, everybody can't win, but these 4 did a great job, and their pictures were just phenomenal for 5th graders, no less.
Great talent, great talent.
I couldn't do it.
Great talent.
Well, sun worshipers delight. It's time for a summer vacation, and the beaches are packed. Jacksonville's beaches are always a top destination this time of year, and just like last summer, JTA is the perfect way to get around town with a little help from the Beaches Trolley.
Ah, life at the beach, the sun, the waves, the sand, and all the people. It's a sure sign of summer as hundreds flock to the beach. The Jacksonville Transportation Authority makes sure that anyone who wants to get to the beach has transportation. There are the regular buses, the BH1 and Q3, that go to the beaches, and then once you get to A1A, then there's the Beaches Trolley.
You don't have to drive everywhere. You know, you can just park one place, catch a ride home at night.
The Beaches Trolley is a seasonal service during the summer on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It runs from the South Beach Parkway Shopping Center in South Jacksonville Beach to Atlantic Village Shopping Center in Atlantic Beach.
This is the 3rd summer for the Beaches Trolley. In fact, JTA officials say that more than 64,000 passenger trips have been taken on the Beaches Trolley. Part of the reason is public parking lots like this that are absolutely packed during the weekends.
I believe that it's bringing more people to the beaches because people don't want to come. It's very hard to find parking, and that's just the biggest concern, the parking out here in the trolley, and it's just very safe. It cuts out a lot of traffic and time, and you just get to where you want to go and right back.
And that's good for beaches officials who are always concerned about the traffic. It's good for the tourists and residents and for local merchants like Ramon Cappenpin.
It will boost the tourism industry, especially in this area, you know, because much of the time there are a lot of traffic around. There's you cannot park anywhere because it's full of cars, you know, and parking is hard to find here, you know. So the trolley will help boost a lot, you know, for accessibilities to the beach, you know.
There's a trolley passing every 20 minutes, and the fare is just $1, and you can ride from one end of A1A all the way to the other. And just a footnote, the trolley will have extended hours for the 4th of July and Labor Day holidays, noon to 2 a.m. July 4th and noon to 6 p.m. on Labor Day.
And time now for some final thoughts with Michael Blaylock.
Joyce, let me just share a few things with you. You know, we have America and particularly in Florida, all over the country, we've experienced so much with the recession, high employment, and a lot of things, a lot of issues on people's minds in terms of money and jobs. And so I just want to take a few minutes just to reflect on some good news, the sacrifices that we made in the community to approve the Better Jacksonville program. You're seeing a lot of positive results of that commitment. You're enjoying the Wonderwood Expressway, you're enjoying the construction of the Intercoastal Waterway Bridge, soon to be completed, Hextra Drive, which is a tremendous project in support of the port activities. You've got miles of sidewalks, you've got a new sports arena, a beautiful baseball stadium, and I just think that sometimes we get caught up in the moment, but I want us to really appreciate the fact that we did make some hard sacrifices here in Jacksonville, and we're enjoying the fruits of those sacrifices with these various projects. So as you drive around Jacksonville, we want to encourage our viewers to step back and really appreciate the sacrifices that they have made, and we recognize that. And City of Jacksonville and JTA and Jacksonville Electrical Authority and the Port Authority, we've all banded together to really make this project work, make this program work, the Better Jacksonville program. So I just want to encourage the viewers not to get caught up in the moment. I mean, we understand what we have, but we've made some pretty solid investments in our community, and I really want us to appreciate that.
And we really, really do have a beautiful community. And every time you come in on I-10 and you just take a look at our city, it's spectacular.
Joyce, I participated and enjoyed all of the recent jazz festivities this past weekend, and I had guests to come in from out of town, and they just marveled how clean the city was and how really easy it was to get around. So, I mean, we have a lot to be proud of here in Jacksonville.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. And that will wrap up this edition of Making Moves. We thank you for joining us and hope you'll be back here next time. For Michael Blaylock and the entire Making Moves team, I'm Joyce Morgan Danford. Go out and make it a great day.